Fellowship, in persons of Dr. Augustine K. Bala, specialist. He's a neurosurgeon on the Visionary International Christian Medical Fellowship, and that of Reverend Venetius F. Reeves. He's the head pastor of the that's the Newcom 25th Street and Sinker. They are my guests this morning, and I'd like to respectfully welcome the both of you. You are Reverend Venetius. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for the invitation. And we're glad being here this morning.
That's good. Okay, let's hear from you, Dr. Augustine K. Bala. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, and thank you for having us here this morning.
You can just lower the volume. You can just bring your phone volume. You can just reduce the volume. Yes. Okay, so I want to welcome you both this morning on the program. And firstly, let's start with you, Reverend Venetius F. Reeves. You are the head pastor of the Newcom Church on the 25th Street, Sinker. Okay, and you are part of this fellowship. Just talk to us about this fellowship. What is it all about?
Well, okay, so Dr. Bala will speak more to that, okay. Because he's the vision bearer. Okay. But Newcom is the acronym for the New Covenant Outreach Ministries Library Incorporated. We right on 25th Street, opposite the Salvation Army Church, Rebbe Lee Miller. We are fortunate this year to be hosting this charitable international medical conference as a church, working along with Pastor Bala, who is a vision bearer and been working with this over the last time from abroad. While he was in China, he worked there. We follow him.
Just shake your mic a bit. Just shake it a bit. Okay, it's okay. No, shake it again. Okay, good.
So we follow him online, and this time around, we are privileged to host it in Liberia for the benefit of Liberians, and it's quite a blessing this time around that this conference is going to be held in Liberia, and after the conference, the impact will be felt in the nation. But I will give him the opportunity as a vision bearer to talk about it. And then what we want to do as a church is not just to approach it from a church perspective, but from a religious perspective, okay, as to how we can make contribution, both financial and physically, in helping to make sure that this vision is a reality in Liberia, not just this year, but in subsequent years to come, and to improve on what is going to happen this year to make it bigger and better every year.
Okay, let me hear from Dr. Bala. You are the vision bearer for this initiative, for this fellowship. When did you come into existence, and why did you come into being?
Okay, so the International Christian Medical Fellowship, ICMFL for short, was launched in 2021. So that when we have our first conference in China, and the first conference was online, and then the launching, and the whole vision is bringing medical practitioners together that are Christians, to encourage them to use their gift, their talent, their career to serve God. And so these are Christian medical practitioners who don't just see their career as a profession to work and make money, but see it as a calling, see it as a ministry. So that's the bigger picture of the International Christian Medical Fellowship, first of all. And so some of the things we involve with, like the conference is just one of the our annual gathering where we have discussions on medical issues and how to go about doing our work, advocating Christian values in our practice, and also creating awareness on a lot of diseases that affect the church and the entire world. And we use that opportunity to be able to be a blessing to the church and the people of God wherever we are. And so that is the general focus. And medical mission, for example, is one of the things, to be able to help people who have certain medical conditions and they can afford to seek treatment.
Yeah. And what's the theme of this upcoming conference?
And so this year, the conference going to be in Morovia, like Reverend Reese said. We bless is going to be right here in Morovia on the 25th Street at the New Covenant Orange Ministry. That's a venue for the conference. And the theme this year is the role of the church, the community, and the individual in healthcare.
Why did you decide to take that theme?
And so this year we want to involve the church, we want to involve the community, we want to involve individual. We think we as member of RCM Fair, already doctors, we think we can be able to really make the impact as we desire as Christian health professionals that want to be a blessing to the world. We think we can do it just among ourselves as medical practitioner. We already know a lot, but we think the church that we are from as Christian, as we identify, has a lot to play in making sure that the church is healthy, not just spiritually, but physically as well. And so that one of the focus. So this year conference, we are involving the church. So, and we will be having a seminar section specifically on that topic, the role of the church in healthcare, and that we will want pastors and non-health practitioners in the church to know how their role is vital as well in making sure people in the church are physically healthy, as well as community dwellers, community members, organizations that are non-medical that are working with community people. We also think they have vital roles in making sure that people are healthy, and so we have a seminar section on that as well. And then before the individual themselves, right, the church member have a vital role. Not just the doctor or the Christian practitioner, but the individual themselves have vital role in making sure they are healthy. And so we think we want to approach, if we want to be a blessing, we are curious as health practitioner. We think it's a holistic kind of thing. The church, the community, the individual must be involved along with the health practitioner.
You will be starting from the 29th of June, right? 2
Yes,
days. It's a 2 days.
So the conference, the seminar and the scientific section is one day on the 29th, a whole day event from 9 a.m. To 5 p.m. So from 9 to 12 in the morning will be the workshop, the seminar section, and then lunch. And then from 1 to 5 will be the scientific section, the medical presentation.
What is that scientific section?
So the scientific
What is it?
section, we're going to have doctors, experts from different area of specialty during presentation. So one of the presentation will be on breast cancer, and we have a specialty medical oncology during that. And then we also have a specialist, a cardiothoracic surgeon, talking about congenital heart disease. And I'll also be one of the presenters during the scientific section, talking about one of the specific things we'll be dealing with after the conference this year, called congenital hydrocephalus. In short, in the layman,
It's a big term.
yeah, in the layman way to make it quite simple, babies born with water around the hair, excess water around their brain. So water around the brain conditions, people born with that. And so I'll be presenting on that because coming to that later, we're going to be having a medical outreach right after the conference. So that July 1 to 5th, will be offering free surgeries for children with this condition.
And so, a baby born with big head, I mean, with water around the brain. How do you identify? How do you recognize a child with water around the brain?
So, from the non-medical person perspective, like you just started big hair, I think that's one of the simple way. Right? Yeah. So, most of things, and that the condition occurred even in adults as well, but we focus on children. That was a congenital. Congenital mean the condition is identified as this at birth, right? And there are instances where also the child is born before they acquire it, but the congenital one is where it's at birth. So you talk about identifying it. Most common for non-medical person, if you are a parent and you see the child hair start to get bigger, continue to enlarge, yes, that's a sign that there is something wrong.
So what causes that?
So from the congenital perspective, that means the one where the person is born with. I try to use the simple term as well because I hope the non-medical and the people find way in the rural area will get this message. So From the congenital perspective, it could be because of genetic issue or exposure during pregnancy. So, like the mother, for example, during pregnancy, there are certain medication pregnant women are not to take. So, if there are certain medication, if the mother could take, could cause that problem for the baby developing abnormally, and one of the part of the system that could be affected is the central nervous system. I mean, the brain part. It could even affect other part like the bone, like the heart. Yes, so there are children born with heart problem, with brain problem, like one of like this we are discussing, with club food. So all of those can come maybe one exposure during certain medication during pregnancy, or even infection. The mother having infection during pregnancy could affect the child development, and then the child will be born with that condition. In fact, in the advanced system, it can be identified even during pregnancy.
Sometimes people with children with big hairs when they are being born, people, especially in the rural areas, people classify them as witch and all of things, and people even abandon their kids sometimes in the hospital at the infant level. They abandon them because of their big hairs. So, how do you can those conditions be solved?
Yes, so in fact, that's one of the reasons why this catch my attention, of bring the compassion to my heart, that I feel that we should do something to help these kids. And so there are a lot of instances like that. First, many of the parents are even confused, and the community, we're just talking about the community involvement, the church involvement. The community may tell them that's a witch, right? That child, that's something else. There'll be
That's
a
a,
lot
that
of,
child at Gina.
yeah, Gina, a lot of marks in the community. So that's one of the reasons why we think, to be able to provide this kind of health services, the community must be involved. Community must be sensitized that children born like that, they are not Gina, as we may say in Liberia, they are not witch. But they have they are unfortunate to have developed this condition. In fact, maybe because of what happened to the mother during pregnancy. The mother may have taken a medication that she wasn't to take, or the mother got infection, it wasn't treated, and the child got affected. So they are now wishing they could be help, right? There is help for them, because if nothing is done, many of them die before their first birthday.
Mm.
Yes. So, but if intervention, surgical intervention is provided.
So you specialize in that.
Yeah. So I'm a specialist neurosurgeon. So yeah, that's one of the things I do.
Mm. So on that day, how many kids you intend to actually look after?
So the project targets 20 kids. We hope to be a blessing to 20 children.
20 is just a drop in the ocean. You have 15 counties. There are a lot of children with this condition. They are all over Liberia.
Yes. So that's what we hear. We want to see how we can be a blessing to the first 20, and we hope this going to even help create more awareness. Because one of the problems could be that it is that many of the children with this condition, people don't even bring them to the hospital. In a rural area, that's what we actually hear, that many of them don't even know whether there is help anywhere, because maybe at the local clinic or the hospital don't have that kind of specialist to tell them, this is, this condition and this kind of help can be provided. Even if they get to know, many of them don't have the resources to be able to seek that surgical intervention. So 20 days later, but we think that could be a beginning to do a lot for many other children.
Will the operations be free of charge or cost attached to them?
So the 20 we're targeting, there are people with good heart, including our team who want to be a blessing to these kids. So the 20 kids we're going to pre-screen, because not every child with big hair actually could be having hydrocephalus. It could just be maybe Mr. The hair. I mean, remember when we're small, there were some people with normal big hairs.
Mm-hmm.
So there are people with normal big hair. So we want to make sure these kids, if you have suspicion with a kid with this big hair, or you think the hair appear normal, especially when they're having problem with development, right? Maybe you think the child is a month old and they're not doing the things they're supposed to do, mothers know that. I've been doctor, they can
Yeah.
tell you that, you know, the child should be sitting now, the child should be doing this, should be doing that. So these are all signs, but we as the specialists, we want to see these kids at the hospital and evaluate them and say, okay, this child have this condition and can have this help. And so we first of all want to encourage any child, anyone who having a child like that with that condition to come to JFK. I'm there on Mondays and Thursday. We evaluate them, and once we can confirm that the child have this condition, we have money. People that have we have raised money for up to 18 already, and people still waiting.
How did you raise the money?
So people still waiting to give more. So right now, as we speak, our members of the board of the International Christian Medical Fellowship all around the world, some in Canada, and we're going to have the chair of our board coming from Canada to attend the conference. And we have members in the US, members in China and other part of the world, from Ghana, and they will be coming for the conference. So we have set up a fundraising, and that this conference should not just be meeting and talking. We want to practicalize what we will be discussing on the 29th Saturday. And then Sunday, we also have the official fundraising in Liberia, because we want Liberians themselves to be a part of it. Yeah, so we are talking to Liberians, like the church and other permanent people. If you are hearing me on the 30th, we want you to be a part of that as well. In how much we said 20, we have money for 18 now. There is a fundraising platform that was set up by the ASEAN Fair, and people are donating to.
How much are you targeting?
So it's we have a minimum of 500
500 US.
500 US dollars to be able to help a kid. So
for 500 for a kid.
yeah, for a kid.
So if
that's
you're using 20, so it's
yeah. So that's
20 times 5.
yes. So that's like 10,000 US dollars. That our minimum target, and the 500 at JFK, because we have done a couple of the cases there already. There are a couple other parents who could afford, and other parents who people help.
Yeah.
So from imaging, because we will need to do either an ultrasound or CT scan.
Do you have the equipment?
Yes. So like I said, we have done a couple of the cases at JFK. So we could even be able to estimate how much is needed to help this child.
Sophistication doesn't matter.
Yes, we have the
You
human
are
resource.
on top of that.
Yeah, we're on top of that. And we want to say the basic minimum is there to be able to do a safe surgery for a child like that. We have had a couple of them. So you were saying, how do we raise the money? I was just telling you, the platform that is being created for people to be a blessing to children like that. And so you are also saying 20 years later, so definitely the opportunity is there. That maybe on the 30th, when we meet at Newcon on the 25th Street, Liberian themselves will say, wow, this is, a good initiative, and we could put more money. If we raise more money for even 50 or 100 children, even after the conference, that's something we could continue to help.
And luckily today is World Club Food Day. It's been celebrated in Bomi. So that falls in the health sector as well.
Yeah.
So we pray for those kids with club foot as well, so that they can get their healing. They can get their treatment on whatever that is quite necessary for them to be straight up in life. Right. Let me come to Pastor. Your church is the venue of this conference.
Right.
What does it mean for your congregation?
We are excited this year that we are hosting, and not just hosts, but we are working along with the vision bearer, who is also not just a neurosurgeon, the second neurosurgeon in Liberia. Liberia has 2 neurosurgeons. He's a second. And he's also a pastor.
Oh.
And so as a church,
he's okay.
So he was a pastor before he became a neurosurgeon.
I will ask him a question.
So as a church, we have realized that the days of Jesus were not only about being saved to go to heaven, being saved to be with him. There were a lot of sick people who were healed. There were people who were ministered to. And we are concerned about some of the way scripture is being approached that sometimes cause danger and harm for the very people that we are supposed to care for. Of course, I do believe that there are many different ways that scripture can be approached, but if it is approached from a wrong perspective, it destroys people. And there are those now that do believe that if you are sick, don't accept that you are sick. You know, there is something that I call an unactive faith. You believe that you are not supposed to admit the facts that you are going through challenges in life, and those challenges destroy the person. Now, some of the things that we have decided to do along with him and the medical practitioners is to be able to work along with ministers with of the gospel, with pastors, to help people to understand that a healthy congregation means a lot for God. Just as a healthy people means a lot for a society, so also it is. And we have a lot of part to play, because every week we speak in the ears of those people. And the more we continue to speak in people's mind, the more they get adjusted to what we say. So what do we say to them when they are sick? We have had situation. We have a medical ministry in the church that specifically is responsible for the physical well-being of people, which he is a member of. Of course, we have two medical doctors, specialized medical doctors with us. They are part of that. We have a lot of PAs and nurses and other people. And so we ask them to organize themselves into a professional body that can meet the physical needs of people. So if you came to me for prayer and you explain to me what is happening, my role is a counselor. I provide counseling. That's my specialty. I work within that. I send you to the medical practitioners, and I ask them to tell me physically what is going on with you. We have had people who have come and they say, well, this thing is a witch. Somebody is witch hunting me. But then we realize that it was a medical issue. So the medical people come to us and say, well, this is a medical problem that we have investigated and have discovered that this is a medical problem. We say, okay, we will work along with you to do your medical work while we deal with the spiritual aspect. So in working along in that area, then we complement each other, so that people who come to the church will recognize that if it is a medical issue, it can be remedied. If it is a spiritual issue, it can be remedied. Even if it is a medical issue, we now have the remedy to approach it from the perspective that will help us to deal with the particular situation. And that is the reason we feel that it is very relevant for us as a church to work with RCML in making sure that people have these needs. Like you rightly said, this is just a drop in the bucket. But if we can, on the 30th of June, 2 p.m., we'll be meeting on 25th Street. We just directly opposite the Salvation Army Church that is attached to the Lee Miller High School. If we can meet over there and raise enough resources, the intention is to support this mission to go beyond Monrovia, because Monrovia is not Liberia.
Of course.
The intention is to go. But like you regularly say, there are sophisticated instruments that are needed to succeed in doing this particular work. And that's the reason we are calling on people. On the 29th, it's going to be a whole day event. Of course, a targeted number of people will be selected to who voluntarily decide to come, and then others can follow online, because it will be online. It will be on Newcoms TV. We will have it online on our platform. It will be on other international platforms, so that those who will not have the opportunity of attending in person can have the opportunity to follow online. And those who will be there can have the opportunity to be educated as to what is happening and how we can help our society. The work of a society is not only about the journalists and other people, but about us who meet the people every day. So if we can succeed in doing this, this is the first time it's going to be physically held in Liberia. It's been going on online, but this is the first time it's coming to be physical in Liberia.
This is a blessing for Liberia.
A serious blessing, and that's the reason we have taken it very seriously, and we want to go through all the length and breadth and everything we can do in making sure that we start with Monrovia and we go throughout the length and breadth of our country. And we want to encourage pastors, we want to encourage church leaders, we want to encourage fathers and mothers in the faith to attend on the 29th. It's an open invitation. People are not paying to come over there. We're asking people to donate. If you can afford to take care of a child, you donate for a child, 2, 3, 4, 5 persons. Even if you can afford to pay for a child, you can pay a little that you have. That will help as much as we work towards it to help these children to survive. Because there are a lot of people who don't have the information. and they let these children to survive. Some of those people tomorrow could be the very neurosurgeons. They could be those very doctors in different areas that will be of help to our society. So we see it as a big opportunity for us as a church. And that's the reason we've entered into it with our total being in making sure that this is a success. And we want to make sure that it goes beyond Montserrado County. We start in Monrovia, it goes beyond Montserrado. So everywhere we have equipments that these medical practitioners can use to help people, we want to get there and make sure that these things happen. So on the 29th, from 9 in the morning to 5 p.m., we are encouraging people. We now have the registry on. People are trying to register. It's free of charge. We will come to attend on Sunday by 2 p.m. at the New Covenant Outreach Ministries. We're encouraging people to come in their numbers and then support. If outsiders are supporting us in Liberia, there is a common adage in Liberia. If somebody is helping to bathe you, wash your stomach.
Sure.
If somebody is helping to pull you up the tree, make some efforts to get there. We want to change the narratives in our country where there is this philosophy that everything you do must come from OSA. If people are helping us from OSA because of the needs that we have, we are inviting all Liberians, whether you're Christian, whether you are not a Christian. Health issue has nothing to do with what you believe and what you do not believe. We are concerned about the health of children, and we want to invite people to join us on the 29th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Then on the 30th from 2 p.m., it's just going to be a 2-hour event. We want to invite people on the 30th to join us. Christians, non-Christians, let's help to raise resources to save lives in our country.
Good. And it's like I say, it's a very good opportunity for the Liberian kids, those suffering from that problem. And it's good that we pray that God will give you all long life and to keep doing what is good for Liberia.
Amen.
Yeah. And let me hear from that. This, according to you, you started 2009, right? 2009, this entire organization was established.
So 2021.
I mean, 2021. Now this is just the third year of your operations, and you've been doing all of these things online. Today, you have come to Liberia to make it physical, where you meet the people in persons. 20 persons, I said first. You said, and I said it was a drop in the ocean. You said you will continue to do what is best for Liberia. When do we hope, after your first conference, after the first conference in June, when do we hope to have another round of this opportunity?
So, well, actually, this is the second in person. The first in person conference was the second conference, which was in China. There were people from different West of Liberia attended. So this is the third international conference in this day, second in person one. But this is the first medical mission in Liberia.
Oh.
So you're right about that. Of course, we're gonna have planned feature small missions even maybe before the conference, but the conference is an annual event that we're gonna have every year. And one of the thing about the conference, like I said, was that we don't want to just make a theoretical, or we just come and talk about all of those, big diseases, or people who have this. We want to practicalize the things we will discuss. And so that's why we make this year conference quite different. So on the 29th on Saturday will be the theory part. We talk about we discuss and everything. And then on Sunday, the 30th at 2 to 4, we're like, what we discussed yesterday, we need these resources, we need money, we want to practicalize it. So on Sunday, it's an open invitation to everyone. We're writing some personality in Liberia, individual and churches to be a part of it. It's $500 to be able to support a child, but you could put even $5, you could put $10, you could put any amount, and then together it could be able to be a help to a child, right? And going beyond even that, you were asking, you think sophistication is now an issue? Well, like I said, the JFK right now is the only hospital in Liberia that have the 2 neurosurgeons that we have in Liberia. So anything about the brain and the spinal cord, when it comes to operation, they have to be done at JFK because there where you have the 2 specialists right now. Well, is that something we should continue like that, I think no. But then we have to build a capacity from JFK, right? Even at JFK, we don't have everything yet. We don't even have. I don't want to say in the middle, but yeah, we have the basic minimum. We can do some things, and so one of the aim of the conference is that we put there at 20, but one of the things we also want to do is that we can get money to be able to get some of the basic equipment that we need to be able to operate these babies, not just to pay for the surgery, pay for their imaging, and like do the basic. We think there are different techniques of even operating these babies. Right now, we only have one we can do at JFK is what we call the VP shunt. That what we'll be doing for them. But there is another advanced technique that if we have the equipment we can do, because some of them that what we evaluate, and some of them don't need a VP shunt, and those one we're not going to do VP shunt for them. There are some who need an advanced technique. They may need a instrument called the endoscope to be able to do an ETV for them, right? So if we get a baby like that among the 20, we will not operate that one because we don't have an endoscope.
You don't have the equipment for it.
Yes, but endoscope, I was checking and make some research. It was quite cheaper, so I've even put that on the budget for the fundraising of $15,000 US, and somebody who ready get a heart can take 15,000. Like, yeah, get an endoscope, so that you don't have to send a baby to Ghana or India to go do ETV. We could do it right here because you have the neurosurgeons right here.
What do you also take into consideration having a communication to the government, the central government, instead of just saying it verbally for assistance? Don't you think it would be necessary indeed to write the president or write members of the legislature to aid you in this process, because these kids are their citizens?
Exactly. I know that the Ministry of Health is the the government entity responsible for health, and so we started with JFK. JFK as a hospital, and we have shared with the leadership there, and they embrace it. They are excited because definitely that what we should do as a hospital. So we started at the hospital level. And we hope that we can be able to get to the Minister of Health and other, maybe the Committee on Health in the legislature, but we know other protocol there. So we're also using this public medium. If you get the message and you want to reach out to us, that would be exciting. But yes, we definitely think the president, the vice president, and other government officials should be a part, because we're talking about Liberians that have a condition that need help. So I was telling you, we have raised money for eating. All of that is from outside Liberia. So we don't want to say like, the blessing of people from out just do everything. So we want Liberian themselves as well to be a part of the process and be able to be able.
Okay.
Can I add?
Yeah, yes, Pastor.
So
Reverend.
one of the visions we also have is that while it is important to engage the government to help, we also as citizens want to take responsibility for our own health. We want to take responsibility for our neighbors. We want to take responsibility for how we change the narratives of things that we do. We also want to look at a situation where if 4 or 5 persons can come together, like we said, and we have, say for instance, $5 US. Some people will even give $100 Liberian, which they can afford, which will be good. We accept that and we begin to work towards it. If you have 10, 20,000 persons giving $100 Liberian, you have a lot of money that is coming, and that can help to save lives and whatsoever. So we also want to change the narratives. We want to start looking beyond people who work in government. We want to start looking at ourselves. We want to start seeing how we can step out of our comfort zones. We can step out of the mentalities that we have before, that there are certain people who are responsible for certain things. Let's step out of this. Let's go out and let's see how this can work. And that's the reason we are throwing this challenge to the citizens. I don't like to say ordinary citizens because nobody is ordinary.
Everybody is.
You can make an impact. Everybody is valuable. And because of this conference, we have now begun to talk about the usefulness of every individual person. And so Mother Teresa from the Catholic Church was not a millionaire, but she is well known around the world for how useful she was and the kind of contribution she made as a classroom teacher to people. We can change the narratives in our country. We can change the trajectory of the way we've been going through with things. And that's the reason, as a church, we have come side by side this particular mission to say, you know what, we want to work along with you. We want to push you. We want every member, we want every citizen to come along on board and see how we can make an impact. Because if you have an equipment that you can get for 15,000 US dollars, and you were to fly from here to Ghana, last year we flew a child from here to Ghana. Of course, the parents had to lobby for money from abroad. We lobby for money from here. But if you calculate how much money was spent on that child to do the surgery and the recovery in Ghana, and that money is used, we could even buy 3 to 4 of these equipments in Liberia. And then we equip our own country and change the narratives when it comes to health sector in our country. The better the health sector becomes, the better it becomes for all of us.
This morning you can interact with my guests. This morning 0886 324740, 0886 324740, 07759785530. Let me take this first caller. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Manny.
Morning.
This is Edward from Local Prayer this morning.
Go ahead from Fuya.
Let me appreciate the men of God, the those who do that one of the reasons because sometimes we need to appreciate and we need to see our country. With some heart, and I'm crying because for those who then see their parents behind them, they call them sinners. So by now, before they leave the studio, they should step up the contact, like local money thing. And also tomorrow when we see all the cases in our hospital, alarm. Thank you so much, Mary.
Thank you. You heard the caller from Fuya. I think you people, others listening will want to send something. So you now if
Mobile money.
Mobile money number, that would be good. It's a good recommendation. 0886 324740, 07759785530. These are the numbers you can call and be a part of the Super Morning Show this morning. My guest, Dr. Augustine K. Bala. He's a neurosurgeon, one of the 2 neurosurgeons in Liberia, and he's from the Visionary International Christian Medical Fellowship, along with Reverend Venetius of Reeves, a pastor of New Calm Church there on the 25th Street in Sincor. They are my guests this morning. The conference is up on the 29th and 30th of that's June, and 20 kids with big heads in our simple way will be of course, know that you are out there, you have your child with a big head. That is now a GINA problem. No GINA business in that thing. Something around the brain called the plenty water. You heard the doctor talking about that. So you can bring your child, they will be saved. 086 324740, 75978 530. This is a very important discussion. I think we need more calls to come in so that you can speak your mind and let them speak to you as well. So yes, while we are with the few calls, are there numbers like you heard from the caller? Are there numbers that you can drop, you can send out to the public that just in case somebody can do it even online, because we are across the world on our LNTV Liberia Live page.
Okay, so like I said, we'll be encouraging people to do locally as well. So there are 2 numbers coming up. The second one, we want make sure that when you pay into it, you see International Christian Medical Fellowship. So that's going to be up maybe by next week. But there is a mobile number personally attached to my name as well that we're using currently. And so local people can pay to that as well. So that is 0886 665388. And then we also have a bank account that is International Christian Fellowship bank account. So those who we are writing churches, and then we put in that bank account there. And in connections to what Reverend was saying as well, you're talking about the government. We also think that we doing the initiative. We should be able to take the initiative. And the people we're starting with, like I said, we started with hospital level. Maybe that's government, but we want to get the church involved. Like the team, role of the church. I think the church has a lot to do as well, right? The church should contribute to this. The church should also come to take this by the hand. So my first approach to people I'm going to more right now, I'm reaching out to everybody and I'm showing it out to everybody. But I'm getting a day set up that I'm going to go to all of the church, so the bishops, the general overseers, because the people are in the church, they are doing everything. The church has a role, not just to give them spiritual food to be healthy. I think the church should play a key role as well, making sure they are physically healthy.
Are you also intending to go to the mosque?
Definitely, because they're Liberians, and so the Muslims, the Christians, and every Liberian should be part of this.
Okay, finally, before we get the party comments of Reverend, finally from your end, any other thing you want to just talk about?
So before I leave, I want to say that I want to encourage every Christian health practitioner, church leader, and everyone who interested in the health of Liberian to sign up. And so we have a link that people are signing up for the 29 seminar section, because that's going to be sections so you have to register. It's free, but you have to register either online. So if you go to RCMFEL on Facebook, when you log in there, you'll get on our page. The sign up link is there. You register online. And if you're not in Morovia or you can come to Morovia, you can sign online. You can also watch the entire seminar section online as well. So we're getting online and in person to sign up. But for the in person, you have to sign up so we can plan.
Surgery, like we said, money is being raised on behalf of those who will be helped. So there is no need for parents to be afraid. That's the reason we are asking for people to join us in these efforts.
Thank you so much. Well, they've been my guest on the final lap of the Super Morning Show, Dr. Augustine K. Bala. He's a neurosurgeon from the Visionary International Christian Medical Fellowship, and that of Reverend Venetius F. Reeves, head pastor of New Calm Church, 25th Street Sinker. They've been my guest this morning. Thanks to Damawa Fufana, who has been carrying us live via our social media page on behalf of the team here. My name is Melvin Stewart, bidding you a very pleasant goodbye from Painesville.